Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Paulina Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. Supportive Oracle cards. Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. Every now and then, cards come up upside down, and I roll with it, because I try to keep them right side up, but if they insist on being upside down, I just kind of roll with it. Breaking of a cycle. First thing I'm getting. Because the upside down card is the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles, when it's right side up, is like a lot of times just staying within the cycle, staying within the situation, just continuing on, like the rolling of the wheel. When it's reversed, it's like breaking that wheel. It's like breaking the cycle. Literally breaking the cycle. That's how I read it anyway. And the Six of Swords right here is kind of like you're letting it happen. Something about this cycle, it's something that's gone on for a long time. But it's something that also I feel like it's time. Now, I feel like it depends on you why it's time. For some people, it was a toxic situation. For other people, it just ran its course. Maybe it's just you've been looking for a change and, it just came to that head. Like, now's the time to end this. You probably have been thinking about it for a while before you let it happen. And you're like, you know what? I need to just let this go away. The Six of Swords is kind of like, it's almost like, it's time to change the song. And instead of choosing another song to go into, you just walk away. It's kind of like that song ended, time to choose another song, and you're just walking away. Just kind of walking away. It's just time to go away. You got the hunger with the discernment, kind of like you're used to the pattern, and you got kind of this urge to continue on, but you have a stronger urge to walk away. It's kind of like it's time to be done. It's time to let this go. It's time to end this cycle. Whatever this is, you've decided it's time to end it. It seems to be like it does take a minute for you to step away, but you have thought about this a lot. And you're like, no, if I'm going to do it, I need to do it now. I need to walk away. You got death and patience in the environment. I feel like somebody's not believing you're making this decision. I feel like somebody doesn't believe you. Which is fine. It doesn't really matter because you're doing what you're going to do anyway. So what they think about it, what they believe is really kind of irrelevant. It's not going to change or affect what you're going to do, but that energy is there. They are acknowledging it. I'm also getting, though, that this seems to have some type of forward effect in the sense of like this person, it feels like it's a person for the majority of you, is going to kind of completely step away from you after this. Almost like you let them down, although I don't think that's true. It's all about their perception, and again, I feel like it's just for you to be aware of it. When they walk away, I do feel like there might be a little bit of bitterness, but you're done. You've already made up your mind. I just feel like the universe at this point just wants you to be aware of that energy being there, because it seems like it lingers. Like once it's done, like they don't want to touch you, like you're anthrax. They don't have anything to do with you. The patience is making me feel, though, that they think you're going to come back. And once they realize that you're not, that's where that comes in. I also feel like when you get away from this, it's very good. You got the Nine of Pentacles. You've made your decision. The further you get away from this moment, after you've made your decision, the better you feel about it. You know you made the right decision. You know you did what was right. You're not feeling bad about it. There's no reason to feel bad about it. That's a good feeling to have. I feel like they're just kind of like verifying that, yes, you're right on point with that. This was face down. This is actually, while you're making this change, like this is creating it's almost like changing jobs, or maybe like changing a relationship, kind of like you're in a relationship and you're leaving, or there's a job and you're like, I'm leaving this job, I'm going to go to something else. it creates a total change in your life. Like, it changes a lot of dynamics. It's almost like if you're changing a job, and maybe this job is just on the other side of town, like there's a new job on the complete other side of town. Ironically, it seems like over time it's going to change where you live, your schedule, who you're hanging out with, the type of things you're involved with. It could even affect your relationship if you have a relationship. It could actually evolve that in a different way. There's a big, like, this first step, I just feel like this is changing everything. Your whole life is going to change due to this. Like, your whole life. And stability is like, Capricorn's a thing about, like, Capricorn is a big thing about stability, right? Whatever was off base before, whatever was not quite up to par before, is being removed. The further you get into this, it's almost like this energy when you stepped away from whatever that cycle was. It was like the first step. It was like the first, like if you're cleaning house, it's like the first room, and it's just getting things organized. And it's kind of like, I'm in the first room, I'm getting this organized, and I'm creating my plan for the whole house. And it's almost like you start that first room, you get that organized, and you're like, well, if I'm going to do this room, I might as well do the whole house. And at that moment, you're like, I'm going to like plan out what I'm going to do and when, and I'm going to put it all together, and then you're just one foot in front of the other. It's almost like you start one room thinking, I'm just going to clean this room. I just have time for this one room. Then you're like, you know what? No, actually I have time for this whole house. If I'm going to do one, I might as well do it all. Stability really gets strong. Like, it's weird because Capricorn is good with stability anyway, but like, it's kind of like, yeah, it was working before, but now it's going to work better. Like, now I'm going to optimize this situation. There's things I don't like, and I'm cleaning house. And it takes you a minute to see if it's going to actually work out. Because when I'm getting the Seven of Cups, you are literally like, all right, I started one room, and now that I've gone this far, I'm like, you know, I'm going to do the whole house. So who's going to support me in this? That's where we're going with this. I'm trying to be careful how I go into this, because it's kind of like, if people are going to help me clean this house and keep it up to par and help me fix things, because you know what? It kind of evolves to that next step. Well, now that I'm cleaning the whole house, you know, there's some things that need to be fixed. So I'm going to let people stay or be in this house or live in this house with me if they're willing to help me fix it and maintain it. So now it's actually going into the next evolvement, kind of like it's getting clean, and it's going to be clean the way I want it to. It's going to be organized the way I want it to. But now I also want certain things to be fixed. I want that to be better. I want this door, this creaky hinge to be fixed. I want this to be redone. I want that to be remodeled. This is what I want to happen. And the Seven of Cups makes me feel like this is other people around you, and you're looking at them like, are you going to actually help my situation, or am I going to have to like clean up after you? Because if I have to clean up after you, I don't think this is going to work. You've got the Five of Swords, the Will, and the Gratitude. Now, it's interesting because people do want to be a part of this, but I feel like at first they're not realizing what type of commitment you're asking from them. Kind of like, if you want to live here, you got to help maintain and correct this situation. Like, you're not telling them they have to do it all by themselves, because you're going to be doing it too, obviously, but anybody who lives here, they have to contribute. They have to keep things organized, they have to keep things clean, and they have to help fix things when that's necessary. And if we're going to remodel, everybody has to be involved and help with the remodel. The Five of Swords is coming in, and it's telling me, like, at first they don't realize that that's what this commitment means. But they soon figure it out. And then they're like, well, I don't know if I want this. That's what their energy is. The thing is, I do think they want this. They just got to get used to it. They have to get used to it. Realize that whoever is connecting with you in this situation, they kind of have to get used to the rhythm that you're creating here. It's really bountiful, though. After some time, they will realize that it's very worth it. I think that's like the biggest part of this whole reading. They have to realize that this is worth it, because this is a beautiful situation. Because holding to the structure, keeping things taken care of, keeping steady with the situation is why it's beautiful. And they have to be a part of it. That's why you're not letting people a part of it unless they're going to support it and maintain it with you. If they're not, that this isn't the place for them. If they are, then there's going to be a lot to enjoy, a lot to gain. There's going to be a big bounty from this, but the reason there's a bounty is because everybody's contributing and everybody's holding up to their responsibilities. I do see you're going to have to hold people to their responsibilities. I got the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. You only seem to be letting people close to this situation that you actually care for. Like if there's people here that you don't really like, you could like, I could do without. It's not like you have a negative energy, but you're like, I could do without. Then you're gonna leave them where they are. You're gonna be like, yeah, this isn't for you. But the Queen of Pentacles is also kind of like, you got this connection with the people you do let in here, and you're like, and we're gonna keep going, and you keep on it. You keep an eye on things to make sure everything's on point, everything's on schedule, things don't fall behind. If somebody seems to be lazy or not doing what they're supposed to, you're like, are you not feeling well? What's going on? Why aren't you doing what you're supposed to do? The terms of the agreement are, if you want to be here, you have to contribute. If you're not contributing, you're going to need to go. So are you going to keep contributing, or are you going to go? Because I don't feel like it's, I don't know if, to you it's not really that harsh, but to them it might seem that harsh. Kind of like it's either step up and do what you're supposed to do or go somewhere else. You're going to keep on them. You need to. You got action. You're in perpetual motion, though. This is just kind of like it's going, and we're going to keep going. It's how it's going to go. Action is there. Now, it's going to take a while for this to really come together, is what I'm getting. It's going to take a while for people to get up to speed and realize that this is how this is going to go from now on. I do have the fear card here, but I feel like other people are looking at this like there's a lot going on. And there is. I'm not going to say there's not. But it's going to, over time, I feel like this fear dissipates. I really do. I think you're going to have to teach, the fear I'm feeling, you're going to have to teach somebody how to get ahead of the game. Like, work a little extra, get a little bit extra behind you so that way you have some leeway, so things don't have to be that stressful. I feel like you're going to have to teach somebody to get ahead of the situation. Like, in a couple of weeks you're going to need this, that, and the other thing, and you can do that now and have it ready. So instead of waiting till the last moment to do it, over the next 2 weeks here, just like every now and then, just do a little bit here, a little bit there. It doesn't have to be that stressful. You don't have to do it all at one time. And I feel like that's what you might have to teach somebody, like to space it out. Like, you have 2 weeks to do this. You don't have to wait till Saturday and the week before, or the day before, and do it all in one day. You can do piece by piece the whole way, and then there's a couple things that need to be done the day before. There might be, like if there's a party coming and it's going to be outside, yeah, the day before is probably when you should do the lawn and mow it and make sure all that. Yeah, but there's a lot of preparation before that, like getting this together, getting the linens together, getting the silverware together, planning the menu. You can even buy some of the stuff and put it in the freezer, or have it ready. Like, you don't have to do everything that one day. You can start planning ahead, start putting things together ahead of time. You don't have to do it all at one moment. And you might have to teach somebody that. Like, the time you have, use it to your advantage. Stretch things out. Put it together. Don't do it all in one moment. That will dissipate this fear greatly. You might literally have to teach that to somebody a couple times. Like, you might have to remind them a couple times. And the fact that, like, just tell them, put your plan together and just decide what can you do ahead of time. What things could be done ahead of time, what can't. And then you might have to go to the next step and all right, now set up a plan and stick to it. What days you're going to do what? What are you going to buy ahead of time? What are you going to get cleaned ahead of time? If we're going to have linens and stuff and things we're going to have put up, get them cleaned and put them to the side and store them somewhere where they're going to stay clean, and just don't use them until that day. It'll be fine. You may have to tell them a couple of times. You might. I don't know. I feel like you're fine with it once you see that that's what that's going to be. That will dissipate that fear. Otherwise, if you don't teach them, I feel like they're going to drive you nuts. Because I feel like they will hold up to their end of the bargain, but it's like holding everything to the last minute and then running and getting it all done. Maybe not as well as you'd like it to be done anyway, so I don't think you'd like that either. I feel like if it's all done at the last minute, you're not going to like it. So to get around it for them and for you, teach them how to space things out. I feel like this is like 101, like almost like, Earth 101. Like, that's how you do things. But whoever you're dealing with, they may understand the concept, but applying it might be different. All right, we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.